is the last lesson in rational expressions equations unit, and so this is putting it all together with word problems. So it's not really anything new, it's just now taking information in words and putting it into an equation. So some of the formulas that you need to know are science applications. So most people have probably seen these formulas before with velocity, distance, and distance and time. So you've probably even seen this triangle with distance, velocity, and time, so that you can read off that d is v times t, d is d divided by t, and t is d divided by v. So I can give you the triangle on the test, but you have to know how to get the information from it. So let's look at the first example. Katie and Emily are sharing a bag of super buttery popcorn at the movies. By herself, Katie can eat the whole bag in 20 minutes. Emily takes 25 minutes to eat the whole bag. If they both eat popcorn from the same bag at their usual rates, how long will it take for them to eat the entire bag? So you did something wrong if you figure it out and it takes longer than one person can eat a bag by themselves. So you better get an answer, I guess what I'm saying is under 20 minutes, because that's what Katie can eat it in, right? So I like using charts to kind of see what we're doing. So does everybody see that Katie can eat it in 20 minutes, Emily can do it in 25 minutes. So what fraction of the bag can be done in 1 minute? Well, if they can do one bag in 20 minutes, then 1/20th of the bag is done in 1 minute. And for Emily, 1/25th. Does that make sense to you? So then if I take that fraction of the bag and multiply it by t minutes, I will get t over 20 and t over 25. And the fraction of the bag together, whatever time it takes together, should add up to one complete bag done, right? Or 100% of the bag done. So there's where we get our equation done, except I made a little mistake there. I have 20 instead of 25. Okay, so t over 20 plus t over 25 equals 1. So again, the hardest part is coming up with the equation, and then after that, you should be pretty good about solving. So what's my LCD here? So that would be 20 and 25. What does that all go into? And that would be 100. There is not a non-permissible. There is no non-permissible values because we don't have variables in the bottom. So there's no way we could ever get a something that's undefined. So anyways, I'm going to multiply each and every term by 100. So I get 5t plus 4t equals 100. Again, I multiplied each and every term by 100. So I get 9t equals 100. So t is 100 divided by 9, which is 11 1/9 minutes. And that makes sense. It should take them a little bit more. Katie can do half a bag in, say, 10 minutes. So a whole bag, because Emily takes a little longer. That sounds about right. Anyways, so Jerry rows his boat 24 kilometers downstream and back to where he began. When the average speed, that should be SPEED, of the current is 2 kilometers per hour, Jerry can complete the journey in 9 hours. What is Jerry's average rowing speed in still water? So downstream, Jerry is going 24 kilometers, and then coming back upstream, he's going the same distance, 24 kilometers. It's saying that the average speed of the current is 2 kilometers per hour. So you have to know something about downstream versus upstream. If you're going downstream, the current is pushing you. So Jerry's speed, or his velocity, will get a gain of 2 kilometers per hour because of the current. Versus going upstream, the current is going to be working against you. So that would be v minus 2. So the formula for time is distance divided by velocity So that means it would be 24 divided by v plus 2. And this would be 24 divided by v minus 2. And it says that he completes the time in 9 hours. So that's where we're going to get our equation this time from, that the time should add up to 9 hours. So 24 over v plus 2 plus 24 over v minus 2 equals 9. So my LCD is going to be v plus 2 times v minus 2, and my non-permissible values is v cannot equal plus or minus 2. So what's my LCD again? V plus 2 times v minus 2. So I'm going to multiply each and every term by that. So I'll get 24 times v minus 2 plus 24 times v plus 2 equals 9 times v plus 2 v minus 2. Okay, so 24 times v is 24v. 24 times minus 2 is minus 48. 24 times v is 24v. 24 times 2 is plus 48. And the way you should be doing this side is you should do this FOIL first, then multiply by 9. So v times v is v squared times 9 is 9v squared. Outer gives me minus 2v, inner gives me plus 2v. So those cancel. And if they cancel, that's 0, and 0 times 9 is just 0. And then last I get 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4. And then if I times that by 9, I get negative 36. Okay, so now I'm going to combine some like terms. The minus 48 and the 48 will cancel. So I get 48v equals 9v squared minus 36. So I'm going to move everything over. This is a quadratic, so in order to do that, we're going to solve by the methods that we know for quadratics, which first and foremost is solve by factoring. So we will see. Now before I do that, I can see that I can divide both sides by 3 to make it a little bit less cumbersome to find factors. So divide both sides by 3, I get 0 equals 3v squared minus 16v minus 12. So that means, don't forget your equals 0. It has to be 3v and v, and now I got to play around with factors of 12 to make it work. So looks like it should be plus 2 and minus 6. Let's see. Minus 18v plus 2v minus 16v. Very good. So v equals negative 2/3 and 6. So there is a restriction for velocity. Velocity would have to be positive. So the velocity would have to be actually greater than 2 based on the reason that we're subtracting 2 here. So because velocity has to be greater than 2, we will now reject negative 2/3, and our answer would be Jerry's velocity is 6 kilometers per hour. And make sure you have units, because otherwise you will lose some error code marks. Okay, now we have James. James mows a lawn in 40 minutes. Mike mows a lawn in 60 minutes. How fast can they mow the lawn together? So I think this is like a common question where somebody can paint a room in such and such minutes. Other people can, how much can they do it together? It's a very common question. So again, this is done just like the buttery popcorn question. James can do this in 40 minutes. Mike can do it in 60 minutes. What fraction would be 1/40th of a lawn in 1 minute, 1/60th of a lawn in 1 minute? So what fraction would that be in t minutes? So that would be t over 40 and t over 60, and that should add up to 1 full lawn that they do. So let's try this again. T over 40 plus T over 60 equals 1. My LCD would be 120. T has to be greater than 0 because time would have to be greater than 0. And also, we don't have any non-permissibles. So if I multiply each and every term by 120, I will get 3t plus 2t equals 120. 5t equals 120. So t is going to be whatever 120 divided by 5 is, which is 24. So, and that is a legitimate answer. Does it make sense that they do it in less than 30 minutes? Yes. So, therefore, they can mow lawn in 24 minutes together. Again, make sure you have units there. Okay, a natural number is 4 more than another number. First off, do you know what a natural number is? Natural numbers are counting numbers, so they start with 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that list. So a natural number is 4 more than the other number when the reciprocal of the greater number is subtracted from the reciprocal of the lesser number. Reciprocal, of course, is changing the numerator to the denominator to the numerator. The difference is 1/15. So what are the two numbers? So I'm going to let x be the smaller number. And if the other number is 4 more, then x plus 4 is going to be the other number, the greater number. So if you get an answer and it makes it less number, then you know you did something wrong. So anyways, it's saying when the reciprocal of the greater number is subtracted from the reciprocal of the smaller number. So the reciprocal of the smaller number is 1 over x. And if I take the reciprocal of the greater number and subtract it from it, I get 1 over 15. So maybe try to understand how I got that, rewind, look at it, pause it. Again, it's subtracted from the reciprocal of the lesser number, right? So what's my LCD? Well, it's nothing common, so it's going to be 15 times x plus 4. And well, x has to be greater than 0 for it to be a natural number. So anyways, we're going to multiply each and every term by 15x times x plus 4. So I will get 15 times x plus 4 minus 1 times the x plus 4s will cancel. 15x equals 1 times the 15 will cancel. So I'm still left with x times x plus 4. So 15 times x plus 4 is 15x plus 60 minus 15x equals, so when we have multiplication in a row, I would probably do x times x and x times 4 times 1. Well, the timesing by 1 is not going to make a difference. So x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x. These cancel. I'm going to move the 60 over to the other side, so I get 0 equals x squared plus 4x minus 60. So 0 equals x plus 10 times x minus 6. So x equals negative 10 and positive 6, which I'm going to reject the negative 10 because x has to be greater than 0 for it to be natural numbers. So therefore, one of the numbers is 6. So what's the other number? Well, it has to be x plus 4, so that would be 6 plus 4 is 10. So the two numbers are 6 and 10. All right. Oops. So now we have Garrett. Garrett drove from Winnipeg to Russell, Manitoba and back a distance of about 340 kilometers each way. Garrett's average speed is 20 kilometers greater on his return trip than his trip out. His total driving speed was 9 hours. Determine his average speed. So if he's going 340 each way, these would be 340. One is greater than the other, so we're going to say we don't know what v is, but the return trip was v plus 20. I guess he was in a rush to get home. So my time is going to be, if you go back to the first page of the lesson, we know that time is distance divided by velocity. So it's going to be 340 divided by v, and v plus 20, sorry, 340 divided by v plus 20. And the time is 9 hours total. So that means these two times should add up to 9. So 340 over v plus 340 over v plus 20. 20 equals 9. So my LCD is going to be V times V plus 20. V would have to be greater than 0 for it to be true. And that's about it. So I'm going to be multiplying each and every term by V times V plus 20. So I'll get 340 times V plus 20 plus 340 times V equals 9V times V plus 20. So multiply this out, I get 340V plus 680, 6,800, sorry, plus 340V equals 9V squared. So if I take that and multiply it in, I get 9V squared plus 180V. So I need to move everything over to the other side. I get 0 equals 9V squared plus well, if I combine 340 and 340, I get 680. If I move that over by subtracting, I get minus 680 plus 180 gives me minus 500V. And then move the 6,800 over, I get minus 6,800. Oh, wow. So this might be hard to factor, so let's just do it in the quadratic formula. So V equals minus B, so 500, plus or minus the square root of B squared, which would be minus 500 squared, minus 4 times 9 times minus 6,800, all over 2A, which would be 18. So if I combine the stuff that's in the middle, I get 500 plus or minus the square root of 494,800 divided by 18. So when I subtract, I get a bigger number, bigger negative number, so I will reject the negative. And let's punch this in. I'll give you a moment to do that. And it's going to be roughly 66.856 blah 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 kilometers per hour. Okay. Sometimes things don't work out nicely and you have to use the quadratic formula. So a group of friends go on a 3-hour bike ride. They ride 15 kilometers with the wind on their backs and then 15 kilometers straight into the wind. The wind adds or subtracts 3 kilometers per hour to or from the speed. What would the average speed of the group of friends if there's no wind? So let's write it like this. With the wind, against the wind, and then this would be together. I highly recommend making these charts. So the distance is 15 kilometers and 15 kilometers. The velocity is adds or subtracts. So with the winds, it's going to add 3 kilometers, and against the wind, it's going to subtract 3 kilometers. And the time is, again, distance divided by velocity. So that is 15 divided by v plus 3, and 15. So 15 divided by v minus 3, and that should add up to the total time, which they said in the question was 3-hour bike ride. So 15 over v plus 3 plus 15 over v minus 3 equals 3. My LCD would be v plus 3 times v minus 3. So my non-permissible values, v cannot equal plus or minus 3. V would have to be greater than 3. Otherwise, if I subtract 3, it won't work. I can't have negative. So LCD, multiply each and every term. I get 15 times v minus 3 plus 15 times v plus 3 equals 3 times v plus 3 v minus 3. So if I do the distributive property, I get 15v minus 45 plus 15v plus 45. Again, I would do the FOIL here first, then multiply by 3. So v times v is v squared, times 3 is 3v squared. Outer I get minus 3v, inner I get plus 3v, so they cancel. And then last I get 3 times minus 3, which is minus 9, times 3 is minus 27. So the 45 and the minus 45 cancel. So then I get 3v squared. If I move the 15 and the 15, which is 30, over to the other side, I'll get minus 30v minus 27 equals 0. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. I get v squared minus 10v minus 9. And again, don't forget to equal 0. So it's v minus 9. Oh, this doesn't factor. So what do? We need to use the quadratic formula. So v equals minus b, so 10 plus or minus b squared, which would be 100, minus 4 times 1 times minus 9, so that would be plus 36, all over 2a, which would be 2. So again, when I subtract, that will give me a negative v. So now I'm going to punch in 10 plus the square root of 136, all divided by 2. I'll give you a moment to punch that in, and we'll get roughly 10.831 kilometers per hour.